Oh, Maria, back with another video. It's 8:35 a.m. and I didn't really sleep last night. I was doing a lot of thinking, and I was just like, doing some reading, and I was thinking about some things, and I was didn't actually fall asleep till like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, wow, because I think that this whole thing, like I said, it does disturb me that. I can't make sense of it, because when I think of someone who um, um, I'm trying to think here, Joel's mom, um, you know, having something to do with my employment, it's like it doesn't make sense, Now, in the beginning, when I would say I never would have approved of that anyway, but I'm just saying is like, if she was indeed like my mother-in-law, like, so say, for example, he and I were really like legitimately married, and she was like my legitimate mother-in-law, and then she was sitting here like concerned about, me. Maybe she was concerned that I was seeing somebody else because she didn't want her son hurt. I would still not. I would still have a problem with that. I would still have a problem with that, because you don't do things like that behind my back and then start maneuvering things. But I mean, this is a relationship that she has with her son. Okay. This is a relationship that she has with her son. And I've already ended the relationship. And so, I find it very strange that I just think it's weird. It's weird. And it's like the stalker. She's stalking. She's stalking me. And, it's like, I don't want to deal with it. So anyway, today, I think it's Friday. I think it is. So I'm taking the day off, not looking for work right now. I need to get other things in order and start thinking about other things and preparing for things, because, this is a very awkward situation that, people put you in when you are a victim of human trafficking. And so I've decided to wait to pay my rent until the middle of the month. Give me some time to pay my rent, because, I don't know what's going to happen. I can't trust anyone at this point. And so I have to be as careful as I can. Definitely I am going to pay my rent. But I'm just saying is, I need to make sure of certain things first, because I'm not comfortable with the situation I'm in right now. When you work a legitimate job, you are, number one, you don't get canned because, you're eating apples at your desk, or, you don't get canned for those sort of things. Okay. But, when you are a victim of human trafficking, it's something to be alarmed over. It's not something you should feel comfortable with. Okay. And so I have to watch out for myself. I have to protect myself. And understandably so, because, you're dealing with unethical people. So, I don't know. Everything is up in the air. I need to do some serious thinking about what I'm going to do. And so I think what they want me to do is they want me to be like, oh, I'm going to convert to, your religion, and I'm going to, go back to Joel and be in a relationship that, with a person that I can't trust, that obviously shows no loyalty or devotion to me. And I that's insane. It's absurd. You know what I mean? It is, especially since, I've made an effort to get legally divorced. I don't want to deal with that guy. I don't. Okay. It would be a very bad thing if I ever encountered him in person. So, I don't know why people participate in stuff like this, or why, people, turn a blind eye to it, but it's definitely weird to me. So anyway, I have to run some errands today, get out of the house, which I'm glad to be getting out of the house. I think it's a good idea to get out of the house, because, I've been cooped up in the house for quite a long time. And, well, a few days, like 2 days, maybe a day or two, but still, even just one day cooped up in the house is plenty enough for me. I mean, I don't like to be too, shut in too much. But I will say that this is, see, I think people, I want to talk about abuse of religion, which I've been talking about a lot. Here are some people who were persecuting me because I'm very leery about certain churches and stuff like that, and you should be. I'm not saying all Christians are bad, but like I said, we've been through this before. But this is a religious issue. Okay, this is a religious issue. You got people behaving quite badly, and misusing religion in a way where it's exactly, it's like an example of some of the stories in the Bible about people who misused in religion for their own gain or whatever. And this is very common with people. And I'm just I'm disturbed by it. You know what I mean? Because you get trafficked. You try to look for a job, and then you get trafficked. Like this last job that I got, I was called from Indeed.com. And it was funny because, I don't recall having my resume on Indeed.com for public viewing. You know what I mean? And then I get called for this job. So I was desperate, so I took it. You know what I mean? I took the job. And it was in a like a C train, and I knew that this was something to try to. It was a form of bullying. I knew it was, okay. But what are you gonna do? You don't have a choice, right? So I took the job, and I didn't feel as though. And I noticed like on certain days when if I said something or did something on a video or something, that there were days where I just didn't get paid that day, or I'd get paid the day after or whatever. So this is the sort of stuff that this is why I don't have any respect for the psychoterrorist, because I can't imagine how somebody would think it's okay to go along with something like this. You know what I mean? If he thought that I was the girlfriend or the wife of Joel or the mistress of Joel, no. Okay, I actually had a legal marriage license with Joel back in 2003, and I got divorced in 2018. Yeah, October of 2018. So I don't know what the deal is, or maybe they just think it's kind of funny that somebody who could be in a relationship with their mom is sitting here pestering a girl, a woman that her son was once married to. Because that's really the bottom line of it. I mean, I don't have anything to do with them, And how my family got suckered into buying into this stuff, I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like, or did she misrepresent herself and say, that I don't know how. And if they knew the whole story, then that's even more twisted. No matter how you look at it, it's very bizarre. It's a very bizarre story. So anyway, I'm gonna get dressed, and I don't know what it's like outside right now. It's winter time, obviously, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna wear a coat or what. But I'm gonna get dressed and get out, run my errands, and come back home. But I have to make plans for myself. I can't sit here and be like, and this is one of the reasons why, I kept saying in the beginning, when I realized I was being trafficked, that this should not be happening. It should not be happening. Like, I'm a victim here. I'm like 100% like innocent. I have nothing to do with, any of this. This is not my doing. And, I think that if she is so protective of her son or their relationship, then he should move back in with her and be with her. You know what I mean? I don't want to deal with him. You know what I mean? Or even to think that I would want to do that. You know what I mean? I would be so terrified of him. I would be sick to my stomach looking at something like that, because it's not. Some people think it's normal, but it's not normal to, after you get a divorce from somebody, then they still want to manipulate your employment. They still want to do all this stuff, and then they got their mom coming in trying to like reprimand me and stuff for things that it's not her place to do. It's not her place to do. As a matter of fact, she and I should have no interaction whatsoever. We are not family. We're not family. Okay? And I distinctly remember Joel saying, to me that Houston wasn't his son over and over again. And I never pressed the issue. I just said, oh, okay, well, I never said, hey, you want to accept my son? Never. But all of a sudden, this whole thing is just like, because that's one of the reasons why I never changed my last name. When I was married to Joel, I was Gordon for a long time. And then I got this gang stalking stuff happen. And I think in 2014, I went and got my legal name changed back to Graham. Okay. Because I kept thinking something's going on. People are trying to confuse something. Like I kept getting this message that people are trying to drop hints. I'm like, well, what's going on? Is it because, am I having a hard time because my name isn't the same as my husband's? Because people kept asking me questions like, what's your name? Who are you? And all this stuff. And I kept thinking, okay, well then I'll go ahead and get my name changed to Graham, right? And then I started cluing in on weird stuff. I didn't know everything, but then I realized that him and his mom were like that. So I ended up getting divorced. Okay, so this is where we are right now. So, I don't want anything to do with these people. And it's unfortunate that somebody appointed this man, and it could very well have been my ex-brother-in-law, Jim, who appointed Joel to have some sort of so-called illegal right to choose my jobs and all this other stuff, because, Jim may believe that, men should be doing this sort of stuff for women. He might be very old school, very, like before the 1970s laws or whatever came into effect, and that's what he might have done. You know what I mean? But I'm no longer his wife. And they might use this whole bullshit about, well, we're Christians, and so, you're still married to him. No, scripturally, no, I'm not. Scripturally, I'm not. Legally, I'm not. This is bullshit. Okay? And, stop trying to make it out like I'm the bad person, okay? I'm not the bad person here. I'm not saying I've never done anything right. I'm wrong, because I have. But this issue, I'm not, I can't take any responsibility for it. I really can't. I made an effort to leave, several times. And the last time I left, see, I know I bounced back before, because when I left him the first time in 2006, and then I stayed away from him, then I moved over to an apartment, then I moved out of town in 2007, then I came back in 2009, and I moved back in with Joel. Okay. And then what happened was, we were together, and then in 2014, I started having problems with my employment, right? And so I kept thinking, what is going on? And you know how I am. I am this kind of person that I have to feel like I have a job. I have to have a job. I have to be working. You know what I mean? I need to know what was going on. And so I left town, because I kept thinking, well, his mom's probably behind it. So I moved back home. So then I found out my family was doing weird shit. So then I came back to Joel. All right. And so now they think, well, she's going to go back to him now. I know more now. Okay, I know more now. And to think that I'm going to just shrug my shoulders and say, oh, this is all right. It's not all right. It's not all right. It's not okay. You know what I mean? This is a very terrifying situation that a lot of women find themselves in. And it shocks me that employers would assist this person in doing something like this. This is human trafficking. This is abuse of a woman. A denial of somebody's rights. Okay? And it's wrong. It's wrong. So anyway, I'm going to get my clothes on, and, and I know I have a hard road ahead of me because of this bullshit. You know what I mean? I know it. But, the thing is that I don't want to put myself in harm's way. Somebody who does that to somebody is not somebody you should be associating with. If you know somebody who's like that, they have a very dark part of their personality, and they shouldn't be associated with. I mean, I'm literally shaking. That's probably the reason why I didn't sleep last night, because I've started to get, the full awareness is coming over me, and I'm disturbed by it. I'm disturbed by it. Okay. I think that, the more I think about how, a lot of people in society don't know the difference between right and wrong. They don't think about it, or they don't question it. They don't question it. They're only thinking that, they're saying, this woman who feels like she wants to bully somebody, and they might think, well, that woman, she stole her man, so I understand, I can relate to what this woman's saying, because she stole her man. I didn't steal her man. I didn't steal him. You know what I mean? I was introduced to her as, she was introduced to me as his mother. Okay, and I saw pictures in their hallway of like little family type pictures, like like trips to Disneyland, riding on farm equipment, stuff like that you see in families. And again, it made me think, okay, well, he had a pretty good upbringing. Those are pictures. You know what I mean? But I never thought that. And then I started cluing in. I think it was either 2012, 13. I saw this picture of them on the refrigerator, and they were holding hands, and they were sitting next to each other. And then I remember thinking, I would never take a picture like that with my son. But I kept thinking, you know what? Some people are inappropriate. Some people kiss their kids on the cheek because it's friendly, it's affectionate, and some people kiss their children on the mouth. Okay, and I remember my mom used to think that was weird that people would kiss their children on the mouth. And so I grew up thinking that way, like, ew, that's kind of weird, right? So there's certain things that I'm like, I don't think I would do that. You know what I mean? I thought it looked kind of weird, but I just kind of shrugged my shoulders because I was so focused on what was going on at work. I was so focused. See, this has always been my focus. It has always been my focus, always been my number one thing. And it's not because I'm trying to be Little Miss Big Shot or anything like that. It's because I do not like being put in hostile environments. I do not like having my employment messed with. And it has been messed with for a very long time. It has been, okay, from the same people. Okay, and now this is it. I've already said it. I don't want these people, the Grahams, and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to keep this going. I'm just telling you, I'm waking up. I'm aware of what's going on. Could you please remove yourself from my life? And I'm being fair. I think I'm being completely fair about this. Okay, I'm being in the most cordial way because I don't want to deal with it. There's no way in the world I could forgive somebody who would do something like this. Okay, the only thing I can do is just shrug it off and say, okay, well, I need to keep plugging. What I can't stay in this state, and it's not really fair for somebody who I don't particularly like or trust to think that they're going to make these sort of life decisions for me or put me in a job. Now, I don't know if she feels like she's got her little business or she's like loaning me out to people, because this is one of the things that people do in human trafficking. They think they have this little business or whatever. I don't have a contract with Polly Graham. I am not under contract with her. I don't have, all of this is illegal. Every single last bit of it. Okay. She's not my mother-in-law. She's not my friend. She's nothing. Okay, and for her to think, I don't think she understands certain things, because like I said, I know she was hospitalized when she was younger. She was hospitalized when she was younger, and maybe instead of having the proper upbringing or the social interactions with certain people who had a little bit more experience in life than she did, she may not know what's right and wrong, because maybe. I notice when people break off at a certain point, like for example, if you were, I think she was like 15 or 16 when she went into this, I think it was like a sanitarium or something. But at the age of teenage years, okay, you're still in the phase of gossiping. You're still in that phase of, let's bully up on people. We're still in the phase of, competition, these sort of things, right? And even though, later on she ended up getting married, and adopting a kid and whatever, she probably never grew out of that 16-year-old phase because she didn't experience other things in life to move out of that teenage behavior. Because that's teenage behavior. It's childish. So, people can sit there and talk about my stuffed animals and shit like that. Okay. But when you look at certain people's behavior and what they do to other people and the arrogance and their inability to understand what is right and wrong, because this is wrong. This is wrong. I don't care how you slice it. It's wrong. Okay. I don't want anything to do with this woman. And I know that she's responsible for contacting employers. She probably, conducts all these things, and instructs employers on how to act and stuff. And why these people comply with her, it's got to be based on race. Okay. And if somebody says it's based on religion, why they're doing it, then I'm going to ask you, really, where is your faith leading you? Because it seems like you're being deceived. Okay. Because none of this is scriptural, none of it is. So, I'm just saying is, think about stuff, use your discernment, question things, just because I don't even. I'm tired of thinking about it. Really, I'm just right now. My goal is to get on with this, and I just do. And like I said, if it's the biggest issue, because I think they're terrified of my ability to be successful. You know what I mean? And I'm not even looking for that kind of success right now. My son's already grown. Okay, these people sucked up so much of my life, and he's grown now. Okay, so the only thing I really need to take care of is myself. That's it. You know what I mean? And I don't think I understand if the employment sector is something that can be easily manipulated in the manner that it is. Then I'm going to tell you. I mean, I have to ask myself: is it really worth it to fight for something like that? And I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. It's not. You know. So I just want to get me a little job, enough to, take care of my rent and stuff, and then that's it. My rent, my food, put gas in my car, and that's it. I mean, I that's all I really can. That's pretty much what my last job covered. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be anything like great, but I have, I still have to have. I have to be skilled for it. Is all I'm saying, and that's just, that's just how it is. And so I don't know. I'm thinking, well, can I find a job here? I see this is what I need to know. When is going to happen to me? You know what I mean? Because I know this bullshit went everywhere. It went everywhere, and so I'm running out of time. That's why I'm withholding my rent right now, because I'm not going to sit here and put myself in too much of a bad situation. You know what I mean? To believe me, my landlord will get his money, but I'm not doling it out right now because I can't. I didn't ask to be put in this situation. See, you can't put somebody in a job, that you want, and then start, making up these stupid rules and then terminating people and this sort of stuff. This is the fault of these people. Okay, and this is the last time. I do not want to work any more of these jobs for you guys. Okay, I don't. I don't want to. I don't want to do that anymore. I made an effort. And just respect it. Respect when people don't want to be around you, when they don't like you. I mean, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I can't like you, but no, I'm not sorry. I can't like you. It's impossible to. You know what I mean? It's silly to think that I would like somebody like that. It's silly. Absolutely silly. So anyway, on my way to run my errands, and I'll be back with another video some other time later. Bye.